I didn't really want to be on camera for this video, but I got all dressed up in pink for Valentine's Day, so I thought I'd at least be on for a little bit. Like, look. Well, what's up, gamers and gamers? It's time for another tier list video. And what would be more fitting for February than to be making a tier list about a romance game? Yeah, I'm smart like that. But without further ado, let's actually get into the making of said tier list. Yeah. Hi, now I'm just a disembodied voice. So as you can see, we've got our tier list pulled up right here. And I specifically looked for a sheep custom cursor, because, you know, I thought it would be fitting, considering the game. And I just so happened to find this pink one that's very cute, so I'm very happy about this. And in keeping in consistency with my other character ranking tier list video that I've got, we've got same 5 tiers. We've got love, got like, okay, meh, and nah bro. And so looky here, we've got all 15 characters. You know, sorry to stall, but I think it's really weird how all the other characters, like not the 7, but all the other characters, are called the Undatables. Like, there has to be another name for them that isn't as offensive, you know? I just call them the others. Undateable sounds mean. Well, enough stalling, let's expose myself. Sorry, I'm just slightly embarrassed. So we're gonna this is gonna sound very funny out of context for my roommates to be hearing me talking about Lucifer and Satan and all the characters in this game. That's funny. So, speaking of Lucifer, let's start with Lucifer, because he's I'm sorry, I can't. Okay, so let's start with Lucifer, because he's the first one in order. You see, this one's just kind of hard to put into words. I don't know. Guess if I had to say something, let's see, I like his voice, and I also like that he's basically just tired, overworked dad of 6 children. He's going in the like tier. Alright, so if you watched my first Obey Me video, you know that I don't like Mammon. I don't like him. I literally made a meme slandering him for the thumbnail, specifically for this video. I've decided since the beginning that he's a bitch. You can watch the video to see why he is in fact a bitch. He's a hardcore simp. S to the I to the M to the P for MC. I cannot get over that. But you know, I think it's funny how he's just the punching bag of the brothers, like the butt of all the jokes. But he goes in bottom tier. Levi. That's not even a question. He's my favorite. He's the one I relate to the most, which may or may not be a good thing. I'll let you guys determine that. He reminds me so much of Idia from Twisted Wonderland, because, you know, they're both blue-haired otaku characters. They need to stop making these otaku characters so relatable. Or maybe I need to do some rethinking with my life. No. I don't know. He's just a silly little guy. Dare I say, a scrunkly. I don't know. He's just a silly little guy. And then sorry. I don't know if I'll be able to say this without laughing. Hang on. Okay. And now Satan, he reminds me of this one sample from a song. He likes cats too. Because he does in fact like cats. But guess what? I also like cats. Yay. But when I first started playing, I got this one UR Plus card of him. And it's one of those cards that plays the special animation every time you use a skill. And the one for him makes me so uncomfortable. I hate watching it. I have to look away every single time it goes off. And the thing is, that's one of my strongest cards, so it ends up on my team most of the time. And then I have to keep watching that animation. And get this, only like 2 days ago I figured out how to turn them off. You're telling me I've been dealing with watching this stupid animation every single time he does an attack, all for it to be the easiest like toggle off switch? Bogus, hot garbage. That aside, every time he's the surprise guest, I always make him mad. I don't know how to do it properly, but I feel like every single time I always make him mad. I don't know. Alright, and then Asmo. Well, seeing as I'm asexual and he's the avatar of lust, I think it kind of makes sense that I don't like him. He seems like someone who would make aphobic comments like, "How do you know if you don't like it if you've never done it yet?" Or like, "I can fix you." Those kinds of statements that every ace person likes to hear. The thing I still find so funny, so ironic, is how in the games they say that MC is immune to his charm. And it's just so much funnier because I'm ace. I don't know, it's so funny. Alright, moving on, we've got Beal. He is my second favorite. Because, you see, bro just wants his food. To which I say, relatable. He's got his priorities straight. He just wants food. Also, I imagine he'd give really good hugs. He's just a precious bean. That's all I gotta say. And then, let's see. Belfie, you know, I should not like a character who tried to kill us this much. But he just seems like a softie. Little soft guy. Next, we've got Barbados. Now, I don't know why I always think this, but he just seems underrated to me. I don't know why, I just do. Not to say that he doesn't have fans or simps or anything, but, like, I'm sure they exist, obviously. They're probably just not as, I don't know, horny as other fans of certain characters? I don't know. But, it was here, I guess. Also, my first UR card, other than, like, the free ones they gave, was of him. So, I might be slightly biased. And then for Diablo, kind of the same with Lucifer. It's kind of hard to put into words what to say about Diablo. But, speaking of Lucifer and Diablo, I know you can't see me, just pretend I'm doing the limp wrist thing. In my first video I made, I think Diablo referred to Lucifer as a friend, and I just kind of said, "Oh yeah, a friend." I meant that as a joke, but I didn't realize that they were actually friends. I'd like to pretend that I predicted that would happen. But yes, I do in fact ship it. Woo. Now we've got Luke. I thought he was kind of annoying at first, but I've warmed up to him. He's a little cutie. He's a little cutie. But I do find it weird that we have a child as a romanceable option in this game. Next we have Simeon, to which I say, gender envy. Hand it over your gender. Hand it over right now. Also there's this I did the other day. Moving on, we have Solomon. Honestly, sometimes I forget about him. I kind of forget he exists sometimes. I can't get a good read on him. Probably because he hasn't been involved in the story that much, or at least where I am in the story. But he seems suspicious, and I don't know why. I've seen people compare him with Lilia from Twisted Wonderland, and it makes me wonder whose god-awful cooking is worse. Alright, and for these three characters, I haven't gotten that far into the story. I don't know when they come in, but I'm on lesson 35, I think. Somewhere around there. So, these three haven't come in yet. The only reason I know who they are is because one of the events from a few months ago, the TTWF event, they had these three characters and I was like, wait, who are these people? It probably wouldn't make sense for me to be putting them on this list because I still don't know much about them, but we're gonna do it anyway. So this, I don't know how to say his name. Like, Mephisto? Mephistopheles. I'm gonna look this up afterwards and then just laugh at how I just said that. Let's just call him Memphis. I don't know how to pronounce it. So this is Memphis now, okay? So the only thing I remember about him was one of the cards I have with the story. These three were in it, and the whole time I was just thinking, you know, he reminds me of Sebek from Twisted Wonderland, on account that they both highly respect, possibly simp for, their prince, and they're both really loud about that. Also, I've seen people compare him to Barney, to which I say, thanks, I can't unsee it. He goes here. And then Raphael, and then same with Memphis. I only remember that much from that one story. And even then, I don't really have anything to say about him, so I don't know. But I will say this, I just cannot get over the sheer irony that the angels, other than Luke, these two at the very least, have the sluttiest outfits of all the characters. And then lastly, last but not least, we have 13 Now, I was not expecting there to be a female character in a game like this, but I'm not complaining, Why would I complain? She's so pretty. I don't know anything about her, but I know, I can tell you right now, confidently, she is a queen. She's a queen. I'm gonna put her here. And I'm just gonna get another good look at this, just so I can think. I think this will just about do it. Sorry, that was just kind of in silence. I didn't really know what else to say. So now that we've completed our tier list, let's read through our category. Let's just read through it. Why can I not speak? Let's recap, yeah? So in our love tier, we've got Levi, Theo, Simeon, and Belfi. In like, we've got 13, Barbados, and Lucifer. Can't speak. In okay, we've got Luke, Satan, and Diablo. In meh, we've got Memphis, Asmo, Solomon, and Raphael. And then in Nabro, we've got Mammon. So that's our tier list. Hopefully this video wasn't too long. It couldn't have been that long. There's only 15 things. So I'll be back for March to do another tier list video. Hopefully you're looking forward to that as much as I am. So yeah, see ya!